They thought she was just another civilian trespassing near the gate, until the captain's salute froze every man in silence. The air around Fort Rainier crackled with tension. Dust swirled against the sunburnt ground as three soldiers circled a young woman standing by the checkpoint. Her brown satchel was clutched tight against her chest, her calm eyes betraying no fear, just quiet dignity. But in their eyes, she was a threat, an intruder. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The soldiers had found her walking down the restricted road toward the base entrance. Her boots were scuffed, her jacket plain, and her silence made them uneasy. When they asked for identification, she handed them a folded document, one they didn't recognize. Suspicion grew. "Open the bag," the lead soldier demanded, his voice sharp, masking uncertainty. The woman didn't move. "That's classified material," she said softly, her tone calm but firm. The second soldier laughed. "Classified? You mean your lunch?" He yanked the bag from her hands. Inside, he found nothing but a small leather notebook, an old service patch, and a folded metal ribbon, faded, but real. The lead soldier frowned. "Where did you get this?" She didn't answer. Her eyes drifted to the horizon, where the sound of a helicopter began to grow louder. And then, she whispered a name none of them expected to hear. The name of their current base captain. For a moment, the wind died. The soldiers exchanged uneasy glances. The youngest among them muttered, "How the hell does she know Captain Rhodes?" When the chopper touched down, the captain himself stepped out, dust whipping his uniform. He was known for his discipline, cold, precise, and merciless to those who broke protocol. The soldiers straightened their backs. "Sir, we caught her crossing restricted ground," one explained. She refused to identify herself properly, but before he could finish, the captain's eyes locked onto the woman. His expression changed, a flash of disbelief, then shock, and finally something softer, something human. He walked toward her slowly, every step heavy with recognition. The soldiers stepped aside, confused, watching as the woman stood perfectly still. The captain stopped just a few feet away. The tension was so thick, you could almost hear their heartbeats. And then in front of everyone, he raised his hand and saluted. The soldiers froze. Not a breath moved. "Admiral Hale," he said quietly. "Welcome home." The world seemed to tilt. The soldiers' faces drained of color. The woman they'd mocked, the one they'd accused of trespassing, was their new base admiral. A murmur rippled through the line of watching personnel. A few took a step back, others stared at the ground, ashamed. The young woman, Admiral Hale, simply nodded. "I see not much has changed," she said softly. "Still quick to judge before you understand." One of the soldiers tried to speak, but words failed him. The captain turned to them, his tone firm but steady. "Gentlemen, you just searched the bag of the officer who rebuilt this division from nothing after your last deployment. The medals you found, she earned them before most of you wore your first uniform." The air was silent, reverent. The young soldier who had mocked her earlier lowered his head, voice trembling. "Ma'am, I'm sorry." She looked at him kindly. "Don't be sorry, son. Be better." The captain smiled faintly. "That's the first lesson every soldier should learn. Respect isn't worn on the sleeve. It's carried in the heart." Later, as she walked toward the command building, the same soldiers who once doubted her now stood at full attention. The captain followed beside her, pride and humility mixed in his stride. And as the wind carried away the last echo of the chopper blades, something shifted at Fort Rainier that day, not in policy or command, but in spirit. Because respect isn't demanded by rank, it's revealed in how you treat those you don't yet understand. And sometimes, the quietest person at the gate turns out to be the one who built it. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And on that dusty afternoon, respect returned to Fort Rainier, carried in the wind and sealed with a salute. If this story moved you, take a moment to share your thoughts below. And if you believe in respect beyond rank, subscribe, because more stories like this deserve to be heard.